Can you get to below 10% body fat naturally at the age of 45 and beyond? And if yes, how is that possible? So my answer is a definitely yes, and let me show you why. Here's my client, Devin, who at the age of 45 went from 23% to 9% body fat. Incredible transformation, and all within 6 months. And a little bit about me, I'm Coach Ábris, founder of Demi Cycle Protocol, and we help high achievers and corporate executives over the ages of 40 and 50 get in the best shape of their lives, permanently get below 15% body fat and double their natural energy levels, reach sustainable over 90 sleep scores with their own rings that we personally send out to their address so we can get accurate data on their sleep. And we do all this without sedatives, sleep drugs, abusing stimulants, melatonin, or counting calories, or spending more than 2 to 3 hours per week in the gym or whatever exercise facility they are using. So of course this is our default transformation, that we get men over the age of 40 and 50 below 15% body fat, but some of them are very ambitious and they say, I wish I want to be shredded and I want to get to 10% body fat or even below that, because as I mentioned in one of my previous videos, so once you have done your part when it comes to career, when it comes to family, right, and when it comes to business, when you have achieved a certain level of wealth, like chasing more money just doesn't really make sense for you anymore, and you start chasing physical excellence. And some of these men, even to my surprise, who have been in this industry for several years by now, they want more. They want more leaner, more shredded, more energetic, more athletic physique, better cardiovascular metrics, and everything at once. And you know, on the one hand it motivates me because that means you can have it all. You can definitely have it all. You can be healthy, you can be wealthy, you can do whatever you want and still enjoy your favorite food, still not having to bother with counting calories and stuff like that. It's all good. But even for me it was surprising that some of them kept pushing, okay, I want 10% body fat. So we get them there, and exactly how is just a little bit different. The fundamentals are all the same. Getting from 20-25% body fat to 15% body fat is not that much different than getting from the same level to 10% body fat. But there is something that, you know, is mysterious for most people that's happening between 15% body fat to 10% body fat. So what is that extra kick, that extra push that we use to get them there, right? So I often talk about in my videos, but for those who are new, about DMT, which I'm not referring to the drug, I'm talking about the daily movement targets, you know? We start from something sustainable, something realistic, and we always keep it sustainable and realistic, but we keep stacking it on top of each other, right? So if you have been living a sedentary lifestyle so far, I don't expect you to take more than 6,000 to 8,000 steps a day, because you probably haven't taken more than 4,000 steps a day so far in your career, or at least that was not the typical for you. So why would I expect something unrealistic? Why would I expect you to start at 10,000, 12,000, 15,000 steps a day, right? So you first build a habit of movement, and of course then we stack on top of it. So by the final stages of his transformation, David was taking regularly 12 to 15,000 steps per day to burn the last bits of stubborn fat off, right? And some of you might be a little bit scared or a little bit doubtful of yourself whether you can do that or not, but if you think about it this way, walking is a passive activity. Taking steps, being active, is a passive activity. And what do I mean by passive activity is exactly that. You can multitask in the meantime. So you can take a couple of calls, a couple of meetings, you can check in with your clients or your team, or whatever type of work you're doing, whatever business model you're running. There are certain types of tasks that you can actually do meanwhile walking. And if there is some deep work involved and you can't do that walking outdoors in nature, whatever, you can always invest in a standing desk or a treadmill desk, so you can keep on taking your steps meanwhile you're doing your highest lever moving tasks, and that's completely fine, that's cool. But okay, movement is not everything, right? Did we change anything like on Devin's weightlifting protocol that he has done in the gym 4 times per week, not more than an accumulated amount of 3 hours of intense movement per week? Did we change anything? No. That's the funniest part, that we made a new training phase for him like every 8 weeks, right? Changing a couple of exercises there, always increasing the intensity, and of course always matching his sleep metrics, his recovery with the intensity of the training that he did. So it wouldn't have been possible without him taking care of his sleep, following a pre-bed routine, and following the supplementation protocol that we have provided for him based on daily data tracking. But the thing is, do you really need to change your training protocol? No. So for Devin, we just switched a couple of exercises. We started including some time efficient and super intense training techniques. We started doing tri-sets, giant sets, so like 3-4 exercises in a row right after each other. Does it help you burn fat? No. We just wanted to be efficient with Devin's time. So he could do the most amount of shit, you know, the most amount of work done in the least amount of time. That's it. And it doesn't affect, so don't believe this myth that high reps or like high volume or high intensity training or whatever, it helps you burn more fat. That couldn't be further away from the truth. Generally, you want to train as intense as possible, and you want to finish your training sessions before you get to the 60-minute mark, because that's when your stress hormone, your cortisol levels starts peaking. The problem with high cortisol levels is that it's a catabolic, so muscle deconstructing hormone, and also it's a stress hormone that keeps you accumulating more fat. So definitely you want to keep your trainings as short and intense as possible. So you go to the gym, you're done and dusted, and you just go home. That's it. And that's why I'm saying, like, we didn't change particularly anything on his training program. However, to his preference, we started scheduling cardio sessions. Could he have gotten there possibly without cardio sessions? Yes, of course. With a little bit more steps taken during the day or with a little bit less food. But was it more fun and healthier for your heart and contributing more to his longevity that he started doing these so-called VO2 max sessions? Absolutely. So his max heart rate, his average active heart rate went up massively, and his resting heart rate started dropping, and as a consequence of that, his deep sleep started increasing. And when your deep sleep increases, your testosterone increases, your growth hormone increases. What do both of these do? Contribute to fat loss, right? So this is how your recovery and your cardiovascular health are interconnected. So we started doing these VO2 max sessions, which means that you pick preferable cardio exercise of your choice. You do that for 1 to 2 minutes straight, as intense as possible you can, you know, and then you look at your Apple Watch or Oura Ring or whatever you're wearing, some kind of trackable device to take your heart rate. And based on your maximal heart rate, now you calculate like 0.7 or 0 to 8 times, so 70 to 80% of that, and that will be your constant VO2 max heart rate that you use for the VO2 max training. So you do and continue that same type of cardio activity at 70 to 80% of your max heart rate for 20 to 30 minutes straight. Once you're finished with that, you just chill down for like 30 minutes. You don't eat anything, you don't drink too much, you just rehydrate a little bit, you wait with food, you let your heart work, you let the thermogenic state of your body burn a little bit more fat, burn a little bit more energy, and then you can have a meal. So basically that was the system. He did this 2 to 3 times per week. And basically that was it. No magic pills, no magic supplements, no steroids like some of you haters are saying. This was it, alongside increasing your his daily activity levels massively. But how can you make it happen? So first, focus on the partial goals, the partial milestones, right? So get to 15% body fat first. Let's see how that works, and then you can set yourself ambitious targets. Because if you keep increasing your daily movement target, if you keep training just a little bit harder, doing progressive overload, eating a high protein diet, you will get there either way. And if you take care of your heart in the meantime, and as an extra on top of all of these, you're doing VO2 max sessions, basically you're crushing it, and you are bound to make it. It's bound to happen, and you will get as ripped and energetic as Devin at the age of 45, as a dad of 2, someone who works a full-time job and has 2 side businesses. So If he could pull it off, I'm pretty sure that you can pull it off too. But what about diet? What about nutrition, right? So I mentioned, of course, high protein diet and stuff like that. It's all part of the basics. It's all literally the same as it takes you to get to below 15% body fat. So eating high protein and solving the rest from a balanced mix of high volume carbs, so carb sources that are large in size but low in nutrient density, and some healthy fats. So this is how each of your plates should look like, each of your meals, that at least 50% of the plate is a preferred or multiple preferred sources of protein, and the rest is solved from high volume carbs and some healthy sources of fat. But if you want to be more strategic and if you really want to push for 10% body fat, then you can just copy paste if you want what we did with Devin. And this did not involve intermittent fasting. So when I got to my previous Peak Shape photo shoot, which was back then in early April 2024, so I did intermittent fasting to go there, but you don't necessarily have to. So for example, Devin has not done any kind of intermittent fasting or any kind of fasting at that period of time. So what we did is we were like super strategic about his carb consumption. It was not carb cycling and stuff like that, but we were considering when does he need carbs the most. So for that you need to understand basic nutrition, what carbs are for. So carbs are like short-term, quick energy nutrients, so you can use with your brain and with your muscles the carbs to transfer that kind of energy into movement and thoughts, thinking. Okay? So, of course, Devin, as a day trader and all the different aspects of his real estate business and all the stuff that he was doing, he was mentally already active all day long, and he was already physically active with his workouts and stuff like that. But he needed to batch out the carbs to those parts of his days when he needed it the most. So on training days, of course, it was a pre-workout high carb meal and a post-workout high carb meal, and basically little to no carbs for the rest of the day. When it comes to rest days, we batched up almost all of the carbs he has eaten throughout the day to the evening. Why? Because until then, if you're not eating carbs at all, or you're eating very little carbs, you have lean protein dominant meals, then you're eating so little calories, even though we didn't track calories, we don't track calories with any of our clients, but the accumulated energy, that your energy intake for the day is so low that you can basically have a feast in the evening. So even if it is like a 1,000-calorie meal with a lot of carbs and the cheesecake as a dessert, because cheesecake, cookie dough, ice cream, these were Devin's favorites, and you can bowl out on that. You can splash out with the dinner and still be within reasonable portion sizes and keep losing fat. And it makes your sleep easier. So if you have your last meal like 2-3 hours before sleep, and if it is high in carbs, it will drive up your tiredness, your adenosine levels, and it will be so easy by the end of the day, just crash out and have no problems with awakenings, and you will sleep deep as hell. So this is how we did it. And this is how we went super specific and super strategic about his carb consumption tailored to his own lifestyle, and he never had sweet cravings. So I gave him a couple of recipes, how to make these homemade high protein brownies, homemade high protein Greek yogurt concoction, video coming soon. But you know, with all of these supplied, he had like 3 to 5 go-to meals throughout the day, so he never had to like particularly think about like, what do I need to eat? What should I eat? Because if you think too much about what should I eat, well, you will end up eating junk. So overthinking is always the fuel of wrong decisions, and I don't want you to make bad decisions. So this cube is you might always have 3 to 5 high protein go-to recipes in your pocket that you can prepare in less than 10 to 15 minutes, or you can have someone, for example, a private chef or meal prep service, or your wife prepare it for you, so you're even more efficient with your time, because your time is always more important than anything else. That's your most valuable asset. You want to leverage your time. It's more important than your money, more important than all of your assets combined. So definitely make sure that you stay efficient with your time. This is what we do at Demi Cycle Protocol. We never require more than 2 to 3 hours per week of total time commitment to the program in order for you to be successful. But to be successful, you might want to know these interesting things that we did with Devin to help him get below 10% body fat. And some of you have been asking about supplements. The thing is, there's no magic supplement. The supplement stack was literally the same that he used for getting from 23% body fat to 15% body fat. So really nothing witchcraft about this. But of course, always prioritize vitamins. Vitamin C, vitamin D, you will always need these vitamin B6 for your nerves, for your mental health and stuff like that. Always, vitamins are the numero uno. Just remember this. And then comes certain minerals. So the minerals that were relevant to Devin's transformation might not be relevant for you. But think of a 45-year-old man who, of course, the natural testosterone levels won't be as high as it used to be in your high school years, in your teenage years, in your college years, right? You can forget about that, but you can still double to triple your testosterone levels with the right lifestyle choices and with taking the right minerals. So he was taking zinc, for example. For most of my 40, 45, 50-year-old clients, I also recommend boron and copper next to the zinc because they support each other, right? So these were the most important minerals that he was taking, and actually he was not taking any kind of particular testosterone boosting supplements. So no Tonga Ali, no ashwagandha at the point, no fenugreek extract, no garlic extract, no tribulus terrestris and all of this stuff. Do these herbs work? Yes, 100% they do. With some of our clients we have tried it and they work amazing, but none of them can match the lifestyle changes that you make along the way, the high protein diet, the intense workouts, and the essential minerals that you might be taking or might want to take, right? And everything else, like he took like 5 grams of creatine daily. That was creatine supplementation, and he took, of course, whey protein for convenience, and sleep supplements. So natural sleep supplements, amino acids like glycine, L-theanine, and GABA. That was it. That was his sleep stack with some magnesium glycinate to calm down his nerves. Chamomile tea. No, he was taking valerian root tea. He preferred valerian root. So basically, that was his stack. Nothing crazy, nothing biohacking, nothing Brian Johnson type of shit. It was pretty plain and simple, and it might not be relevant to you, right? So that's why we do a supplement audit on the first week of the program whenever you join. Is that okay? We want to look at your lifestyle, right? And what are the things that we can't really do and we want to replace, right? So if you are living in a cold country with very little sunlight, you might want to take higher doses of vitamin D. So there are so many variables behind the formulation, but you don't have to worry about that because we do that for you. We do the heavy math for you. We do the biology tracking for you. But the thing is, you want to keep it simple, right? And you want to keep all of these movement habits, all of these strategic allocations with food, all of this consistency with training that I have mentioned in this video to be able to get successfully below 10% body fat if that is your goal and if you happen to be over 40 years old. So really that's it. It's not that difficult, but I know that for some of you it might be a little bit overwhelming, all of the things that you have heard in this video. For some of you it might be a little bit easier to just copy paste this, try it out in your lifestyle, and yeah, check back to me, report how it went, what happened as a result of this. But for most of you it might be overwhelming, and I completely understand that. So if you want these systems to be tailored to you, to be customized to your own lifestyle, so we can just apply it, install it to your hardware, then book a free call with us. Go to the description below, fill out the questions, and based on the questions that you have filled out, we will come up with a game plan for you and a roadmap for the next 6 months on how we could help you get below 15 and then potentially 10% body fat as a man over 40 or 50 years old, working a high-performing job or owning a business, operating a big company, and you have limited time, so with less than 2 to 3 hours per week time commitment, without counting calories, without taking sedatives, sleep drugs, melatonin, and all that stuff. So without it, how we could get you there to achieve your health goals and stay there permanently so you can sustain your results in the long term, unlike with other coaches or other diet programs and gimmicks where they promise you results. You might get the results in 9 days, but then you can't sustain them because you start living and eating like crap again. If you prefer that, please don't book a free call with us. Also, if you are a procrastinator, if you can't make reasonable decisions, if you're not ready to be committed to a program, or to stay consistent with something, or just to get a little bit more disciplined about your lifestyle choices than before, then let's not waste each other's time and do not book this free call with us. First, get your brain in shape. And how you get your brain in shape, how you get your mind in shape, how you cultivate a mindset that gets you ready for this program, it's very easy, it's very simple. I highly recommend you to watch my previous videos so your mind can get to that level where you are ready to get started and change your health and your life permanently and become unrecognizable in the next 6 months. And if you generally like this video and you found some useful tips over here, then feel free to click on the like and the subscribe button. Don't forget to turn on notifications and send this to your friends, family, colleagues, teammates, employees, whoever is important to you and whoever's performance you want to see massively increasing in the next 6 months. So wishing you a lot of success to all of you guys, no matter if you are 40, 50, 60, 70 years old. It's a scientifically and also empirically proven fact that you can and you are able to improve your physique, your health, and your lifestyle at any age, no matter how busy you are, no matter how high seasons in your business are right now, right? It doesn't really matter, because you've got this, you're capable of this, and to be honest, you don't need to change too many things, but you need accountability to get in there, and you need to be ruthlessly consistent. And if you agree with this message, or you happen to disagree with this message, just let me know in the comments below. Let's start a nice and polite civil discussion, as I always ask you to do that, guys. So thanks a lot, and see you in the next one.